Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds the Round Table, a weekly talk show where me and my best friends, and I guess my cat now? I can't tell if you guys can see the cat on camera.
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
Discuss ongoing affairs in nerd culture. With me, to my right, your left, is my good friend Jack.
What's up,
and
everybody?
with me, to my left and your right.
You struggled.
Why is this happening?
Tom Hawkins.
Hello.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Fallout's out.
It is.
We've done nothing but pretty much play Fallout constantly. I'm so worried about the cat. It's in my peripheral.
I would say that Fallout was a serious. It is a time suck. It takes away from my potential to do things, but I wouldn't be doing things anyway. So
No,
it fits in perfectly into my life.
It's taking away
From us, yeah. It's made.
Oh please.
I was just saying we're like, you want to do a let's play, and we're like, yeah, but I really don't want to take Fallout out. We might as well just do a house building let's play.
Oh my god.
Indeed. I left it to the last minute to jump off Fallout.
Yeah, it was like I was like, hey Tom, do you upload the video? And you're like, maybe. I don't know, but I found a shotgun that I named the D, and it's really good.
See, I'll try and get things done in loading screens. So I'll do a bunch of fast traveling that I have to do, and every loading screen I'll try and get something
Yeah. We'll talk about Fallout in length in a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Are we gonna save that?
Just some house cleaning, keeping. I don't clean at all.
It's kind of both.
If you guys were wondering why we sounded like shit last week on the audio or on the video version of the podcast, we were using my cell phone's camera. And if you're wondering why we sound like shit this week, it's because we did it again. I'm not sure if we're going to have to, but there's been a problem with the way we've been doing some of the sound stuff. And last week we had this really weird error where milliseconds were missing out of each track, which made it impossible to sync the tracks correctly. It was a big headache.
It's getting real inside baseball.
Yeah, and MacBook's only having two USB inputs, meaning we can't put 3 mics in.
Yeah, which is a huge pain in my ass.
Sucks, which is why we were using 2. We're doing everything different. Hopefully this works.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, this is a learning process. We will get better at this.
Yeah.
It's just something that we're working on.
Next week will probably be completely different.
And I haven't even done my hair for the podcast this week. Second video podcast, I already gave up. Don't care.
I did mine. I quickly ran downstairs.
Yeah, you ran downstairs and did your. Mine's a process.
I was going to shave, and then I was like...
Me too.
All right.
Why
Anyway.
bother?
So, the funny thing is, since Fallout came out, and then, nothing else really happened this week. Now, we
Not a lot
the
until...
Nintendo Direct today.
Yeah, like an hour
we're gonna talk about. But right up until that, I mean, goose eggs. There was nothing happening because everybody was busy playing Fallout, and it's a lot of fun.
And everyone's scared to release news this week because it's going to be a Fallout heavy week.
Yeah,
so
Let's Plays, everything.
you don't
everything
announce
on
anything
everybody's
over the next-
channel.
I haven't read any news.
It's like talking to an empty room. It's like
Everyone's just putting all their spare time into Fallout.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much Fallout took over just everything.
Yeah.
Just everything was taken over by Fallout.
I mean, it's pretty much what we all expect. Everyone was saying this was going to happen, but I didn't really believe it. I was like, yeah, okay, it's going to be a big game. Obviously, I'm super excited about it. For people in our circles are very excited about it. But I wasn't sure. But yeah, it really took over everything.
I'm afraid she's gonna knock my Pip-Boy edition down. It's very expensive.
That would be the literal worst case scenario.
Yeah, and she does. She likes to just knock shit over.
Classic cats.
Yeah, cats are awesome though. So maybe there'll be a blooper at the end of this where the cat's just standing on a table and we can't get her off because we're all kind of afraid of her.
That's
a dog wouldn't be coordinated enough to get up there.
Yeah.
So there's no risk.
Stupid.
Sure.
Yeah.
But at least they're not going to knock your shit over.
Those that watch our Let's Plays know that I like to put bloopers at the end.
You do. Like when you got naked on right in the middle of one of our Let's Plays.
That's the Apotheon one.
Yes.
You can find that.
That didn't do as well as I wanted.
I will
it
go
to.
find that.
And that's a good one. So if you haven't seen our Let's Play, that might be our second best. I still think our Fallout one, where I just lose my shit when we're building the house, is probably our best work.
No,
I was in the room for the Apotheon one. You guys just weren't really talking.
No, it was so intense.
It was like you would have thought that we had real.
And we shook hands at the end. I was all sweaty.
You were very sweaty. You're like Jack. You and Jack just when a video game is on, he's probably really wet right now. When a video game is on, just sweat fires out of you guys borderline at a superpower level.
Only if I'm really want to win. If I'm getting really competitive,
it was intense. It was last minute. You should go watch it. Anyway,
you guys don't play competitive games enough. That means because I'm
probably
if it was that, I would just be dehydrated constantly.
You would only be able to play with an IV.
I drink so much water.
Yeah, every game I play, water. Every game I play, I'm always competing. Anyway, so I'll wait for Jack to finish because I'm about to give it to him.
Oh,
all right. You ready?
Yeah.
Tell me about Nintendo. What happened this week in Nintendo?
Well, I mean, so they just had a Nintendo Direct, and a lot of things were announced. It kind of I don't know how much our audience is really gonna care because I don't know how much they reflect my views, and a lot of what like was announced I don't really care that much about. Like there was a new Smash Brothers character, which actually a lot of
people lost their fucking
mind. A lot of people are going to care about that.
Lost their mind.
If there was like one thing from that, I think that was the biggest announcement. In that, I don't know. Could you guys think of anything?
Probably. The new HD Zelda. Which is
the Twilight Princess remake. That's like a big deal to some people, but that's like a largely people like that game is like largely maligned. Like a lot of people either don't really like it that much, but the people that do like it are like it had the people say that game had the best dungeons of any Zelda, which is high praise.
I have heard that
for a Zelda game, but like ultimately that wasn't a very popular game for a lot of reasons. No, so it seems like a weird one.
It was because it came half on GameCube and half on Wii.
And if you wanted to play the like better version on the new console, it was like waggle controls.
Yeah,
and fuck waggle.
That's
like nobody wants this in their games.
I worry about. I've said it a million times. I worry about Nintendo because their biggest announcement is they're remaking a game from way more than 5 years ago. They're remaking a game from like
7
or 8 years ago.
Probably farther.
They added a character to a year and a half old game. Well, no, a year old game because it came out November 21st of 2014.
In Smash?
Yeah. So like I was like watching their commercials that came out and it was like, now you're gonna play and there was like Super Mario Maker and Smash Bros.
Yeah,
play them. It's fun. I promise.
If you follow Nintendo news, I listen to some Nintendo like podcasts and stuff like that, it's like everyone's like, yeah, they don't really have much going into this holiday season. It's like
they don't have anything.
Yeah, they don't have anything at all.
They're worse than Sony.
Yeah, they're like no, because at least Sony has third parties.
Well, yeah,
you could like justify owning a PS4 just for third parties this fall. You can't justify owning a Wii U for just the things that are going to be released this fall. I would argue. I mean, if you're super into like one
Mario
title,
Maker, like if Mario Maker was the game you've been waiting your whole life to play.
Yeah.
Then maybe, but
you doubt it.
I doubt it. I look at Nintendo's lineup, and I've said it a million times. Like, they're so clearly stuck in between like what they want to do and what they've fucking committed to do.
Yeah,
and like they pretty much have to bring a real Zelda onto that franchise. Are you just getting distracted by the cat?
No. You're getting distracted by me looking at the cat. I'm fine.
What's up, buddy? I'm waiting for my cat. Every once in a while, my cat would just freak the fuck out and attack me. Not now. Audio podcast listeners.
Not yet.
You guys are missing out.
Go check out the YouTube video. Give us a view.
What was I saying? Completely lost. I look at Nintendo and I'm like, you just got nothing going on right now. I get it that you clearly, I think that everything's shifting over to the NX, and it's sad to look at Nintendo right now and be like, ooh, they don't really have anything.
It's like watching all the wealthy and important people evacuate the Titanic.
Yeah.
Like anything that might be important, like is getting on the life rafts and sailing away to the next, big thing.
They've given up.
Yeah, so all like the kind of, and like I don't know, I really shouldn't be degrading them like this, but like all the kind of like B tier people like games are just kind of trapped on the deck waiting for the thing to fall apart.
My big thing is like I look at this and like
the Titanic was a tragedy. I shouldn't be making jokes.
I read the content and I read like what's coming out and I watch the news and I just look at my Twitter feed and people are so excited. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
And like, don't get me wrong, people like. I love Smash Bros. Probably more than the average person. I play Smash Bros. As often as I can.
We should play some Smash Bros. Like right now.
Yeah, we're a little busy. And I just look, I'm like, how can you be that excited for an announcement of one character?
Yeah.
In a year-old game, which, like I said, that's not saying Smash Bros. Isn't great, but as a Nintendo fan, don't you look at it and be like, yeah, but what else? What the fuck are you guys doing?
They're just appealing to that nostalgic. Nostalgia's big. I'm sure it's. I don't know. It must be bigger than it's ever been. It seems to be. People.
Yeah.
There's loads of remasters, loads of all this stuff.
Absolutely.
Nintendo's just appealing to nostalgia.
Yeah.
Mario Maker's a nostalgic trip.
It really is, yeah.
I think Mother 3 was announced that it'll be coming out to the Japanese.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Only in Japan.
Both.
Yeah,
that has to come to both because that's never seen a light of day in America, to my knowledge.
I mean, like I've heard that it might be like licensing issues. Like I don't understand that because like it's like just make it happen. Like who's holding on to that so tightly that they won't let it happen?
I still think that their biggest announcement of probably the last like 3 years or more than that, the last like 5 years was that they brought Earthbound to the Virtual Console.
It was kind of a big deal.
$600 to play it or anymore.
Yeah, well, no. So that's the thing. Like, when I look at this announcement and the things that I care about from it, this is not like an objective view. This is totally my own. I'm looking at a Smash Brothers character that like I don't, like I have no affinity for. When we were probably this is the next thing we're gonna talk like Cloud.
Yeah,
Cloud Strife is coming
to a new character.
Yeah, he's coming to Smash Brothers.
I think he's gonna be cool.
I'm sure that he will be. But like I don't really care about Final Fantasy that much. Like I care about it as like an industry like event that when people talk about it, like people freak out. But like that character doesn't really do much for me. I'm excited because there's a new person coming to Smash.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
But then like other than that, it's like Star Fox, a female Link,
which doesn't look good.
A female Link coming to a 3DS port of a non-canon like Legend of Zelda game that was released on the Wii U like a year ago.
Put that on the back.
And like people are freaking out about like a female Link. It's like I just don't like that doesn't matter that much to me like because it's not even from Nintendo really. I don't know. It's all a mess on the Nintendo side. And like maybe it's a matter of like I don't know what the expectations you're supposed to have for a Nintendo Direct are.
Sorry.
What's that?
The new tennis game came out for them. Mario Tennis.
Yeah, that's true.
Which will be fun.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's fun. They don't really make games that aren't fun. They just
don't make very many games.
Yeah, and like the one like no, I'm not gonna dust off the Wii U so I can play tennis.
I'm fascinated to see what happens with Nintendo because I like somebody released this statistic on a Facebook group that I am pretty active in, and they were like, Nintendo was like this crazy thing. Like Nintendo could lose this amount of money every year, this amount of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and still be profitable for the next 100 years. I'm like, yeah, but they don't want to do that.
Still be profitable, or still be like
they still have money.
Yeah.
But that's like that's a total.
That's not how you want to do it. That's not how you go about your business. That's not what you pitch in your like
investor meetings.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, don't worry, man. We could lose another $150 million every quarter for the next 25 years, and we would still not.
The investors are all broke. They're gonna be like, oh, cool. I'm
Fire
out. I'm going to leave with all my money.
Yeah. So I look at that and I'm like, we've said it a million times, Nintendo needs to get their shit together. I think that they might be. We will learn, in the next year, we will be able to safely determine what the future for Nintendo is, whether it's as a software developer or will Nintendo do it again.
Which I would prefer to see.
Me too.
I prefer them to just go software, go on to PlayStation and Xbox because I never had like grew up with Nintendo really.
Sure.
And I'm not gonna invest in a Nintendo console just for a few games.
You're absolutely. I mean, that makes a lot of sense because like, why would you? They haven't given you their last two consoles have nothing. Like, you would count yourself among like the hardcore group, right?
Yeah.
What about their last two consoles would have spoken to you? And like, it's unfortunate because like, the weird thing is. And I think this is a strange turn of events. Like, I think if you are a hardcore Nintendo fan, you should want them to go software only, because that's where you'll get like probably the most games, and like everyone will be talking about them. Everyone will be joining in that fandom with you.
I really do wonder in the pit. Like I think about this sometimes, where I don't ever see a future where Nintendo is a software manufacturer.
I don't think so.
I feel like they fall on their sword, eat their IPs, and just call it a day before they fucking go make a game for the PlayStation or Xbox. If they do, I guarantee you they go Xbox and not PlayStation.
I would have absolutely said the same thing until they started fucking selling their soul to DNA for that sweet mobile money.
The reason before people get upset, obviously Nintendo's a Japanese company, Sony's a Japanese company. It would make more sense for them to go to Sony, but Sony and Nintendo have a bitter rivalry. They had for a long time. The only reason PlayStation exists is out of spite of Nintendo.
It's like that Taylor Swift song.
Pay a ton for it.
Oh, Microsoft would just
happy.
I mean, anybody would.
Of course,
so would Sony. Sony would probably trade almost every first-party studio for their first-party studios.
I mean,
not everyone.
I was like,
you look at first-party, but you look at first-party power, like
I wasn't like openly disagreeing with you because that's obviously kind of a joke, but at the same time, I was like, you're not totally wrong, but not every studio.
Obviously, they're not going to give up Naughty Dog, or like even Sucker Punch.
Yeah, anything with Sony on the front of it is probably
but still Nintendo's IPs are more powerful than Sony's IPs. Sony just has a better hardware.
Yeah.
And they put out more games. They have better partnerships. It is a better investment to buy a Sony console. But as far as like first party game, I think that Nintendo probably has a better lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like mass appeal, probably. Yeah, I mean, like for, everyone has to judge that on a personal basis. Obviously, Sony is our choice.
Yeah, I like Sony.
So and Microsoft for you, I think there's a lot of first party things that speak to you there. So
yeah, but if you gave me a choice between being able to never play a Nintendo game again or never play a first party Microsoft game again, I would never play a first party Microsoft game again.
That's fair.
Because as much as I love Halo and I love Gears, and Gears is probably one of my favorite games ever, I just there's almost never a bad first party Nintendo game.
Sure, and I would trade all first party Microsoft studios for Smash Brothers any day. So.
Yeah.
But that's a personal judgment. Like, yeah, that one IP is more valuable to me than all of Microsoft first party.
And then another big announcement that came out of the studio or the conference was classic Pokemon games are now going to be available on Nintendo Shop.
It's a big deal for people who care.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. I like to see that. I still say that if I ask you why you own a Wii and you say, oh, because I'm really excited about what's coming out, I might think you're a little delusional. But if I ask you if you own a Wii and you're like, well, I love that ability to buy my old Nintendo games, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Sure.
I see it.
I love the ability to re-buy Nintendo games that I bought years ago.
Yeah, well, we all.
I'm just no. I know it's just funny because like if you owned a Wii, you probably bought your favorite games over again, and if you own a Wii U, you had to buy them all over again.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous.
Like on the NX, you're probably gonna buy them all over again.
I can't imagine they make you do that 3 times.
I bet they do because they don't have a universal profile yet.
So, and they will with the NX.
Yeah, which means that they might be starting from 0. You might not have that history.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So my Retron 5 literally burst into flames the other day.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
About that. So, fun story. Tom and I are like, what do you want to do for a Let's Play? And I'm like, I really want to play Super Ghosts and Ghouls, and then I really wanted to play Friday the 13th for Friday the 13th, which is tomorrow. The day
so it is.
Post. And
good luck, everyone.
Plug in the Retron 5. Didn't realize it was a significantly higher voltage than should be ever plugged into a Retron 5 because it was the wrong power outlet. Walked away for 6 hours, came back upstairs, and the thing was like... I was like, oh, okay, well, dear.
We were setting up the lights for Let's Play, and I was like, do you smell fire? Yep, there it is. Yeah,
that was a
bad.
fucking disaster.
Yeah, I bet.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. All right, moving on. So we have some numbers back from the best-selling games of October. Some interesting stuff out there. Halo, best-selling game of October.
Yes.
For me, that's not a big surprise. Even though I feel like Halo's hype was lower than it's ever been.
Sure.
Yeah.
It didn't really go up against anything.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if Call of Duty had been out for 2 days in this month,
Probably,
I feel like it would have. Yeah, and I'm not saying that to diss Halo. I'm saying that like, this Halo was clearly the biggest game this month, in October. So yeah, you got Halo 5, followed up by NBA 2K16.
Yeah, which could have beat it. Those games are huge.
Which shouldn't surprise anyone, but as a multi-platform game, sold best on PS4.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed sold best on PS4. Madden actually sold best on PS4 as well.
I can't believe Madden's still up there from August.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it really is like half the list is dominated by sports games.
Yeah,
which like
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Those games sell well, all of them. NHL, FIFA, all of those games.
But they don't sell well against like big games from the month.
Yeah.
So they didn't sell well against. Yeah, I know they didn't sell well against like Halo 5, and like in November it's going to be like probably Call of Duty, Fallout. Like maybe 2 or 3 other games, and then maybe you get some sports games at the end with like Minecraft tossed in there for good measure.
Minecraft's always
or Destiny.
Yeah,
there's like some like almost guarantees on the MPD list. It's like Destiny, Minecraft, Call of Duty.
Is Minecraft in that list?
No, not. It doesn't look like it's here this month, which is actually surprising.
It's surprising. So usually it's sitting at 9th or 10th, isn't it? It's always creeping.
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I think is maybe the most shocking thing on this list. Yoshi's Woolly World. For the Wii U sold better than the Uncharted collection.
That makes sense. I feel like the people who own a Wii U were starving for content, so they probably bought it.
It makes sense, but at the same time, it still surprises me because I'm like, yeah, I could see how that would be right, but I don't. I would have never thought that would be
my
right.
PlayStation friends, the ones that are so diehard PlayStation that they have like almost blinders on. We're talking and we're like, yeah, man, like. Because I've been just as critical of PlayStation lately than I have been of Nintendo. You guys can rewind the footage and see me bash PlayStation for like 4 episodes for not having anything coming out this holiday season.
It's true, you did that.
And people, the one thing that everybody was always said was like, yeah, we got the Uncharted collection. And I was always like, I don't think anybody fucking cares about that. I really don't think people care as much about that game as people are giving him credit for.
You know what they do care more about, though?
Cool.
They care more about Uncharted than they do about Rock Band or Guitar Hero.
I'm surprised Rock Band got in there at all.
Right? And it's number 10 on the list, but it's
The
there.
only reason it did is because it required you could use the old hardware, though. If you were using...
My cat is so fucking distracting.
Holy crap, hi.
Hey, buddy. She's such a good girl.
No. If you were...
Because it's using the old hardware, it's not an expensive purchase.
It's a lower...
Guitar Hero is still an expensive purchase.
Absolutely.
So it's not... You wouldn't just go out there and think, oh yeah, I'm just going to buy Guitar Hero.
No, Guitar Hero is like, I got to save for a little bit from this paycheck. And maybe this paycheck and then we're good, you know?
I look at that and I was like... I talked to Fred, and he's obviously one of my best friends, and we talk about it, and... Hey, Fred. So, I said his name, and he looked up from playing Fallout. He's playing Fallout on a fucking 9-inch monitor that's like right above his balls.
It's like, just get in my veins.
It's surprising
it's 11
he looked
inches,
up.
sorry.
He's usually so immersed, you can't speak to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, you want to play Guitar Hero or Rock Band? He's like, fuck yeah. And then we just never did it.
Yeah,
we looked at that and we were like, well, it's that, or we could fly to San Francisco in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or tomorrow.
Yeah, we are flying to San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, like, I remember having that conversation with you guys. I was like, so this group of friends here, we're getting either Rock Band or Guitar Hero or whatever. And you guys were like, yeah. And now it came out and it was like...
I'll wait for it to be on sale and buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, I'm sure that's something I could see me getting, like, halfway through, you know, like, in another year or two, possibly.
Because I like that game. It's fun, but I don't like it for, like, an exorbitant amount of money.
The new Guitar Hero looks... I like the look of the new guitar. I like the style of it. Cool. And it really interests me. But I do want it, but I don't want to fork out that money for it yet.
Yeah. Well, what's weird, and maybe this was just me, I don't know how many other people felt this way, but like pretty much all through October when that game came out, like all I could think of was Fallout still. Yeah. And it was kind of like nothing that I thought about playing or actually ended up purchasing or, you know, tried could like really satiate that like desire I had to play Fallout.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't think that's ever happened before to me in gaming. Like I like I'm sure have had some like really like hype moments for, I don't know, like Gears or Halo or something, but like no game that I've been so like excited for has ever sapped my excitement for other things. You know what I mean?
Well, the whole of last week I was sitting there and I didn't know what to play. I just couldn't because I was like, I don't want to commit to like Shadow of Mordor, which I haven't finished, or something else. I was just like, I'm just going to not play anything. And that is crazy that a game is making me just not play a game.
I read 2 books last week because I had nothing better to do.
Fallout strategy guides.
That would have been great.
I looked at it and I was like, I felt a similar way. Because like, and I was talking to, again, Fred about this because he sits next to me at work. And obviously we talk often. And it was just one of those things where I was like, man, like, I just need Fallout to get out. Mm-hmm. Because like at this point, it's counterproductive to start any other game.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was just running my dailies and doing my Destiny thing, which is good that I always have Destiny to come back to. But even when I was playing Destiny and I was like, people were like, you gonna be home for the raid next week? And I was like, probably not. I got Fallout is like right around the corner, and I'm still gonna jump back on to play Trials, and I'll run the raid next week and do stuff like that because like I'm not quitting Destiny.
Yeah.
But like it's at that point where I was like, yeah, I know, but I just know that the massive time sink that Fallout is.
Yeah, so like the reason I'm smiling is because I remember having a similar conversation with myself where I was like looking at Destiny and I was like, man, I guess I don't really have anything else I want to do. I guess I could run some dailies or like, you know, play a little multiplayer or something like that. And then I was like, why bother? When Fallout comes out, I might never play this game again. And I'm like, I know that's not likely, but I know that for maybe the next month, like I might play Destiny, but like I wasn't willing to even invest like that amount of time in it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. But like Destiny's, because I'm a hardcore player, has its hooks into me to the point where I know that if I don't do certain things, I'll regret it later when I come back to Destiny.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like if I neglect Destiny to the point where I just don't pay attention to anything, there's a strong chance that
like you did during that year off.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck, man, I should have bought that sniper when it was up for sale. And I still say that every time I get killed by the Irene in PvP, I'm like, fuck, man, I should have bought that gun.
Yeah.
It makes me so mad.
I mean, I don't know if there's anything else on this list you want to talk about. I pretty much brought up everything that wasn't a sports game.
I'm just quickly curious, which console did FIFA sell best on?
Oh,
PS4.
Of course, PS4. This is funny. PS4, Xbox One, 360, PS3.
360, I still think has the advantage in anything.
Yes.
It's just funny to see it all lined up like that.
Yeah,
because it's pretty much exactly what you would expect.
The only reason that's interesting to me is because FIFA has an exclusive with Xbox, so you get certain extra content on Xbox. So that's the only reason it's interesting.
Do you get like the headbutt feature?
You don't.
Xbox.
Zidane.
No, or the bite.
Yeah, I only know like 2 things that have ever happened in soccer.
It's pretty what interests many people.
Yeah, Sadiq Saddam headbutt some guy.
But the interesting thing to take from it is that that it's outselling on PS4, even though Xbox has got exclusive deals. That's just the interesting.
I'm fascinated to see how Star Wars does next week. I know that Star Wars is going to do well. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Star Wars doesn't come out and fucking sell 9 million units.
Yeah. My dad might buy it. My dad, he came up to me the other week before I left, and he was like, have you seen the Star Wars stuff? And I was like, well, yeah, obviously. And he was like, I might buy a PlayStation. Now, that is a big statement coming from him. And
he's going to hate it, because he's going to have to play multiplayer. He's going to be forced to play multiplayer.
He's a big multiplayer guy.
Oh, is he?
He used to be big.
You have a cool dad.
You might get along.
You probably would.
I
been into shooters.
I have this big thing where, like, I still think people are going to have buyer's remorse on that game. There's going to be a percentage of people that buy that game, play it for a week, and then never touch it again.
Yeah.
There's going to be a large percentage of people who do that.
I feel like it's going to follow the trend of Halo 4, where it sells well, well enough to justify continued existence of the franchise.
Yeah.
Get it together, Kat.
Fuzz, what are you doing, buddy?
She is officially becoming a distraction.
Go.
It'll sell well enough to maybe consider like a sequel or something like that. But it'll be talked about months later as like, did anyone ever continue really playing the game?
Like Titanfall.
Or the Titanfall. I was going to say it's like Halo 4, Titanfall, all these things suffered from similar.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I look at it. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog fighting in the Millennium Falcon that I saw today was like fucking awesome.
So what I was going to ask you is, like, are you gonna play this game? Either one of you?
I'm tempted. The reason being is because Fallout's going to take up a lot of my time.
Sure.
I'm going to pump. Like, I've pumped 20 hours in already.
Yeah.
I've put 14 in.
And like, I know this is going to sink all my time into this. Battlefield might be a good respite. Like, I'm a bit because this is a game that I'm pointing over there because I can see my screen.
Is it just torturous?
Yeah. No, so I feel like the start of the game is a new relationship. You're well up for it, and then it gets a bit stale.
Sure.
So I feel like I might use Battlefield as a respite.
Yeah.
Possibly. That's the only reason I'd buy it.
Yeah, I mean, like that makes a lot of sense. I'll wait till I start feeling tired of Fallout before I pick a game to like move on to next, or like play on the in between times. And I'm definitely gonna wait to see what everyone's saying about Star Wars before I purchase it.
I really do wonder how that game's gonna review. I think it's gonna review higher than I expect, because I seriously think that nostalgia is just gonna carry so many people through it. But because I was like looking at, like I said, I've looked at a lot of the stuff, and people are like, yeah, but it sounds so good and it looks so good, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but does it play well?
Yeah.
That is the question.
That brings with the question of like objectivity in review scores, and like obviously it's an inherently subjective thing. Yeah, but do you? Yeah. Like you do. But like you don't want the biggest Star Wars fan in the office, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want the guy who comes in and fucking Jedi robes.
Yeah. I'd rather a Force Unleashed style game though.
Yeah, I would too. I would much rather, or I would really like to get another not Knights of the Old Republic, even though I would love that. But I mean like Jedi Temple game.
Yeah,
like one of those games.
Sure.
It wasn't turn based, and you could like completely build your own Jedi, and it had awesome multiplayer. And I feel like that multiplayer would work really well now. I think that this is just the beginning for Star Wars.
I mean, Amy Hennig is working on a single player Star Wars game like that. The single player Star Wars are coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. But like, they won't say anything for a while because they'd be afraid of taking it away from Battlefront.
Yeah, of course.
Indeed. And I realized I said Battlefield earlier. I meant Battlefront.
We all know what you mean.
Like I hear that so often. Yeah. Like it's just
as long as
people know that you're talking about Star Wars, it'll be fine.
All right. So last story before we just jump in and we just get into Fallout. We've touched on Fallout. I hope that's off camera. If not,
it is. It is off camera. I know the field.
Oh, you do? Okay, good.
It's just the back of Jack's chair.
The funny thing is, completely forgot the topic. So Fallout now, backwards compatibility. The official list has been released by Xbox. A quick question: do you guys care about backwards compatibility?
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, we're not about to read through the whole list. Like, it's pretty much all the games you would expect. Like every first-party Microsoft game from Xbox 360, along with a few notable like other games, like
Alan Wake on there.
Almost anything that was on the arcade.
Is it alphabetical?
Yeah, I'm checking it out for you.
Do me a quick searchy search.
No,
that's fucking bullshit. How do you?
You shook my mic. It's 10:01.
Oh shit! My neighbor's probably sleeping. My bad.
If you're listening,
Jerry.
God, wouldn't it be great if he was like
Jerry? All right, I think that's the old neighbor actually. Fred's shaking my head. Yes.
Why ask him, Fred? He doesn't even live here.
He lives here for a period of time.
He doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go here. That's unfucking believable that Alan Wake, which is still the best Xbox 360
Is
game.
it though?
Yes, the best Xbox 360 single player game. Exclusive. We had to narrow the fields down.
But you know what did make it? Bellator MMA. I know you're happy about that. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a bunch of, like, pretty much any first-party Microsoft game and any notable arcade game is on there. So, like, Castle Crash is on there.
Castle Crash is so good.
Yeah. Fallout 3 is on there.
Makes sense.
Just Cause 2. These are, I'm like pointing out the ones that are.
You get a free copy of Fallout 3 when you get Fallout 4.
You do.
Mirror's Edge is on there.
I have a great point to bring up with that.
Do you want to bring it up now? You might as well.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, I'm not about to.
I just want to say that I think that while Xbox 360 or Xbox announcing that it had backwards compatibility on the Xbox One was a great move. I don't necessarily think that it's as important as people say it is. It's one of those things where it's almost like having couch co-op or having 60 frames per second.
People say that they care more
even
than
though
they
60 frames per second is something that you need. People want the ability to have it without necessarily using it.
Yeah.
I think I would be fascinated to see how often that's used after the initial wave.
Yeah, sure.
My view of it is that it's a better like solution than PlayStation's of having PlayStation Now, which is buggy and a bit iffy
and terrible.
It's better. It's a better solution to have proper backwards compatibility, definitely.
Yes,
but it is very gimmicky. Like people will play it they'll play it for a week and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that game. But you're not. Rarely are people going to go back.
Very rarely.
It's not going to be waves and waves of people going back and playing these games. It'll be a few people that loved that game. They'll go back. And then other people will just try it out because they're told they should. Because it's like, oh, you haven't played Alan Wake, go play Alan Wake. And even though it's not even on there. It's not a good example.
It may eventually be, yeah.
Prince of Persia's on there. Go back and play the first Prince of Persia. You know, like, it's an okay game. I loved that game.
Now,
but, fair enough.
Two things about that real quick. You just looked through the list. Was that a surprisingly short list to you?
Well,
you went right through it, yeah. Oh, that's it. Okay,
yeah.
Good. I'm glad Zumba's on it or something like that.
All the Sonics that you can just
play every Sonic. They're desperate to make whatever. And so the other thing I was gonna say is like, I know that everyone kind of like gave Sony some shit about PlayStation Now, but while we're having this discussion, I'm starting to realize I think that might be the more viable option.
Do you think?
Well, sort of, because like when I think about, I know it's ridiculous, but when I think about playing an older game, my experiences going back and playing older games, it's usually for like 10 hours at the most. Like I don't go back and play a game that I already beat for more than like, I'm not going to play the entire thing again unless it's like you know what I mean? Like there are those games that like you keep in the back of your mind and you're like, oh, I'll play those again someday. But then like the rental option for PlayStation Now and like getting the game for half a day or whatever, or 2 days or like a couple days, whatever, that might actually make more sense than like either digging up an old disc or going out and finding that disc like used or in your collection or something like that.
Yeah. The other thing, most people that care about this kind of stuff still own the old consoles.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you would think.
Before Fallout 4, I was preparing I finished Vegas, I went back and played Fallout 3 for a bit. I just plugged in my old 360. I didn't get rid of my console. I still kept it, so I just plugged it in, and then I just had it. Every now and again, I'd just go and play on my 360 rather than thinking about.
I will never do that, but I understand. But I'm always of that. Like, I don't care. I don't care that you can play old games because they're old and I probably don't want to play them. And all the good games get remastered.
Yeah.
And like
the best games, yeah.
Fuzz worries.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like I don't know. I don't think, as far as we're in this group where like if a game comes out that you want to play, you play it.
Yeah.
Like we don't really miss games that often.
Not really, no.
You know? Like it just doesn't really happen.
Best not to miss.
And you certainly don't miss it by an entire generation.
Yeah, no.
So the only exactly.
I'll circle back.
Yeah. So the only reason we would really have to do this is if like I said, you want to play a game for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
And like in that respect, I would say PlayStation now is more viable, except for the fact that you have to pay, which kind of sucks.
No, but PlayStation now doesn't work. It's laggy, and it's me with 175 down and fucking 55 up. My game still lags.
Yeah, I wonder what the deal is with that. I wonder if it's like something that they're gonna. No. But I'm saying like as a general thought, I feel like it might be more viable.
Might be more
they need to tighten some screws or however you make internet better.
At Xbox 360, if I have an old Xbox 360 game, I can just put it in my Xbox One.
That's true.
It works.
Yeah,
I don't have to buy it again.
Yeah,
which is better.
But that assumes that you held on to it, and it assumes that you like. I don't know. Not everyone holds on to their games in the same way. Not everyone holds on to their old consoles.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing. I would love for them to release statistics. Sorry, I couldn't get that word out. Where they pretty much say like, hey, guess what? No one used this. Just like split screen co-op on Halo. Like I'm like, hey, you know, like. Well, you guys had 150,000 people sign this petition to bring it in, and like 4,000 of you used it.
Yeah,
I think it's just a good announcement for them to have, isn't it? It's
like,
we do it. And people were so excited, and then everyone goes, "Oh, actually, do I care?" And then by the time it actually happens, people probably lost interest. Like, well,
but it's a huge announcement, and it is a good announcement for them. But I don't know. I just don't know if people are going to use it.
My initial reaction was like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. But then I was
like... fan service.
And then a few hours later, it hit me. I was like, actually, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was the funny thing. Like, if you go back and listen to our E3 episode, like, Sean was like, that might be the biggest announcement coming out of E3 this year. I still think
it probably was.
And that was the funny thing. I was like, what? No, who fucking cares? And then you were like, we don't really care. Everyone else thinks it's a big fucking deal. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit.
Because then you go out and you look at
yeah, like everyone cares.
I see people who are like, and like Xbox is doing some clever shit where they give you the Gears 1, 2, and 3 for free.
Yeah.
If you buy the Gears Ultimate Edition, so that you can go back and play the rest. And they're like being smart with it. They give you Fallout 3 if you buy Fallout 4. Like this is like smart business decisions. But like I said, people probably do care. But I'd be fascinated to know how often that feature gets used.
Yeah.
But we're gonna move on to the main topic, and I'm gonna bring up some stuff that I've read. Fallout 4 is obviously the big topic of the show. It came out on Tuesday. I've played, I think, 13 hours. You've played 20. What have you played?
20, between 25 and 27.
Yeah. So we've all played the game. I've actually yet to do a single story mission. 14 hours into the game, 13 hours into the game, whatever I am. I've done one story mission.
I've done 3 of the main story.
Yeah.
Done a few.
In terms of that main storyline,
still haven't been to Diamond City. This is going to be mostly spoiler free.
Yeah. Well, because you don't have anything.
Because I don't have anything.
And like I've gotten to Diamond City and I did the first mission out of that.
Same.
So.
I'm exactly the same, and I've
maybe the same. Yeah.
But the thing, it's hard to spoil Fallout because there's so many different paths. Like obviously you can definitively spoil it, but there's so many different paths. Like me and you would have done completely different missions, and had completely different experiences with the game. Because like it depends. Like I found a really good weapon really quickly. It's now called the D. I give everyone the D. And I do. You watch me play.
What is
It's a shotgun.
Okay.
And so one of my favorite things about this game is the gun crafting. Yeah. Now I knew I would enjoy it, but not to this level. It's to the point where I'm like running around. I'm like, where's a globe? Because I want to get the globe. I want to compact that down so I can get the screws out. And I need some adhesive. Adhesive I can't find enough of. And I'm running around trying to find duct tape everywhere. Yeah. And I'm like, I need adhesive. So I can, whatever. So I can.
You and I looked over it and we were like, are we going to say anything?
Going to correct everything?
No. Okay, but for the people who didn't understand that crazy accent.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm running around trying to find Wonder Glue and all these things. And like, so I've upgraded. The shotgun is now fully upgraded.
Sure.
It's my best weapon. It does like, it's a legend. So if you kill a legendary boss or legendary enemy, they drop a legendary item, which is awesome. I love that feature. I don't think that was in the old Fallout one.
No, it wasn't. Because I love it because I
don't think it is.
No, it'll be like walking by a group of enemies and I'm like, do I want to fight them? I'm kind of on my way. Is that a star?
Yeah. Oh,
fuck. I gotta go fight that group now.
I got my first legendary weapon last night. It's a hand cannon that does 50% more damage to ghouls.
So what I didn't realize about those legendary weapons is that they're not like the weapons that you would find in like the previous Fallout games that had like names and were like, they're just weapons that they like just skipped 20 levels on the modding screen for, and they're like, let's go that one.
And it always adds an extra, like a skill or a bit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
My shotgun adds 25 hit points of damage afterwards.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it reduces their health bar.
That's
so
cool,
what happens is a mutant runs at me. I shoot it once, and it's running at me with a blade, and by the time it gets to me, it dies.
I found a hand cannon that does 50% extra damage against super mutants.
That's cool.
And I was just like, I'm not going to carry on this hand cannon just to fight mutants, but if I was going to do something like that, this would be the.
I just fought my first super mutants last night, so I'm like a complete noob when it comes to the Fallout series. Sure. I've never really played a Fallout game. I played about.
Would you like me to give you the history of super mutants?
No, I've got it all. I watched it all on YouTube.
Oh, good.
I played about an hour and a half of Fallout 3, which means I never got out of the vault. Intro in Fallout 4, way better. They just skip all that bullshit. And they're like, here, get outside.
I know. That was incredible. I was like, and this is how fucked up I am. I looked at that and I got out of the vault and I was like, not much buildup on that one. I'm not going to say it's unsatisfying, but
because obviously you start off.
I wasn't teased.
You start off in the house. So the interesting thing is, I found the start very boring because we'd seen it all.
Yeah,
because it was pretty much the entire of the trailer from E3. So it was like I was going through and I was like, this is just so familiar. And I've watched this. I've been so hyped for this game. I've watched this trailer like 30 times. I was like, I know everything that's going to happen. Quick note: did you think the dude that comes to the vault, that's selling you the vault thing or telling you can sign up, looks a bit like Todd Howard? Anyone go back? Have a look.
I didn't pay that close attention.
I've googled it and other people have agreed with me.
Okay, all right,
so
good.
Have a look.
2 people in here.
Let me know. 2 people on Reddit.
So maybe we should take it piece by piece, like rather than just talking about the game.
I'm gonna bring up something. So I've been like, as someone who did not, I did not like Fallout 3.
Okay.
Because I thought the game was fucking boring.
I've heard about this.
It never got started for me, and I was like, it was at the point where I was at a weird stage of my life where games had to get me like that. Yeah. Otherwise, I was done with them. And I didn't know anything about Fallout because, and we talked about this a little bit last week. Fallout was not a big game, like a big named game, until Fallout 3 had come out. Yeah. Like Fallout 3 was its coming out party. This is like, hey, we're the guys who made Oblivion and Elder Scrolls Oblivion and Morrowind. Yeah. Like, this is our next game. Fallout before that was a tactical RPG that wasn't even made by Bethesda.
Yeah. Fallout 3 was more aligned with Oblivion than it was with Fallout 2.
Yeah, we talked about this last week in that, like, I'm surprised they stuck with the 3, but enumerated sequels, so.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe I don't get this series because I didn't play the first 2, and I put it down. And like, obviously, if I'd given the game some time, I would have liked it.
Probably.
So I was reading, some of my friends are posting on Facebook, and they're like, hey, I haven't played Fallout 3 or New Vegas. Should I go back and play the other 2 before I play 4? And like immediately, I jumped in the comments and I was like, "No, you don't really need to." But I scrolled up and everyone was like, "Yeah, you need to play Fallout." I was like, "If you might turn her off from the series for fucking ever." No. Because it is a 10-year-old game that takes forever to get started, looks like shit, still kind of runs like shit on the old gens. If I was to put that game in first, not knowing what Fallout 4 was, and play that, and I'm like, this is fucking Fallout?
Now, like,
in 2015, that game does not look, hold up.
No, it doesn't. But if you were talking about this a month ago, I would have said, like, yeah, if you got some time, just see what it's like. Yeah. Like, don't take it for what Fallout 4 will be, but just check it out. Because it'd probably be like $5 at GameStop at this point. Yeah. But, like, now that Fallout 4 is out, don't waste your time.
There's no real link. There's hints and there's hints for the fans of the series. Yeah. There's little nuggets of information, little like bits like that. But there's no real added value in going back and playing Fallout.
Not really. And like so I said this on the last podcast, a couple podcasts ago actually. Like the world of Fallout 4 is the world of Fallout is a character in and of itself. And if you want to know a lot about that character, Wikipedia is pretty much just as effective as playing the old games because you'll actually see what everyone else has like compiled about that as well. So like I would have said go back, experience it in like the way that it was experienced by everyone, but it's really just not effective. And it's frankly like not as much fun as playing Fallout 4. So like
Fallout 4 is great.
Go read some stuff if you're curious, but then just come back and play Fallout 4.
Hey Fred, are we still good on the computers? Can you just give us a check on the laptops? I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Before we really get into the nitty-gritty of it. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys agreed with me because I thought that was a ridiculous statement. And like, so I'll take it piece by piece. The game starts. I liked the intro. All right, Fred, Mr. fucking Commando over here.
He's gonna be on camera.
Fred's doing the
Oh, dear God. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Fred.
That's the back of Fred's head.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's 50 minutes and a half.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Like, I didn't want to have to redo this show again.
Yeah.
We good, Tom? His password is like 87 digits.
All right. Anyway,
you carry on.
One of the big things that about carry on. Tell him.
oh my God.
One of the big things about this game that I liked way more than Fallout 3 was your character doesn't look like a smushed Barbie doll that has been on fire for a couple of days.
Yep.
What? Oh, still putting his password in. I'm actually like
And it wasn't right.
I'm like obsessed with the way my character looks in this game. I love the like how detailed crafting the character is, and I really feel a connection with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, awesome. Before it was like phase 1, phase 2.
Yeah,
One,
and like
they
still have that, and I was like flipping through the presets, and I was like, no.
Usually,
no. Good enough. And then I like started modifying from there just a little bit, and I was like, that's fine.
You find the preset that's closest,
Yeah.
like as a head start. Thing is, I started mine on stream, which some of you may have watched, and which was great fun and everything, but it meant that I didn't want to mess around too much.
Yeah, you didn't.
I broke my dude's nose.
You did.
He was screwed, and I just settled with it being broken. So I might, maybe that's partially why I always wear them. I'm always wearing a mask.
Yeah, I never
I'm
wear a
always
mask.
wearing a gas mask, partially because it's also good against radiation, which is handy.
Sure.
And because I'm not attached to my dude's face.
Yeah,
I love
neither
the
am
way
I.
that guy looks. If I could, I might frame a picture of
You
my
do
Fallout
love it. You
kid.
keep looking at him.
Right now, I'm wearing like a fancy hat, some like sunglasses, and then like a skull bandana over my face, so like nobody can.
I've got
I was
those.
just like all the.
I have the glasses that you pick up at the very beginning, like when you're inside the vault for still.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, the glasses. They're like
Eyeglasses.
they're
They're eyeglasses.
hipster eyeglasses.
Oh, the ones with the white frames. I was wearing.
No, they're not white frames. They're
black.
like they're like horn rimmed,
Oh, all right.
super hipster. I have the hipster haircut.
Oh my God.
My guy seriously looks like the biggest fucking like that guy.
does.
I made the joke before, but my character has a twin walking around in San Francisco right now. If they were, you'd be like, "Holy shit, I'm in Fallout!" I had
Oh
no
my
idea.
You
God.
can see it on the Let's Play.
Yeah, and
It's
like
there.
so, I think now I tend to walk around in my vault suit. I really like the way the vault suit looks, so I just kind of wear it all the time.
You're wearing no armor, which I find interesting because I'm
Yeah.
wearing.
Dangerous game.
He's doing fine with it. And I
Sure.
think you can if you play the game that way, it's fine.
I
I'm
play a
wearing
very
like,
unique way.
Yeah,
What do you do?
Continue.
but so,
Okay.
yeah, I'm wearing I'm wearing one of the ones where you have the underclothing. So I'm wearing like
Yeah.
military fatigues
Sure.
underneath.
See,
And then I've got like random armor that I've picked, legendary. All my armor's now
Yeah.
legendary that I've picked up throughout.
Yeah.
And then I've got a Brotherhood of Steel chest plate
Yeah.
thing because I'm part of that.
So I'm using the vault suit as my base and
Okay.
and modifying that because you can add modifications
Yes,
onto
yeah.
the vault suit itself.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So like right now I've got it's like insulated or something, so I think it protects me from like something
Radiation.
Maybe yeah, whatever. It does a thing. Yeah, it's just my character shivers sometimes. I didn't like it.
The shit you get.
Yeah, right. And then and like you, I've just got the patchwork armor from all these
Yes,
different legendary things. And I think that's a very cool way to do it because but my problem with it is like it removes most value from like the outfits in the game. Like I just ran into an outfit and it's like a full body thing, so like you can't wear anything else with it. That's like it's like 45 defense, but when I have all my shit on, it's like 60.
Yeah.
So I'm like I can't really justify it, but like it looks way cooler.
I found
I would just
spike.
wear it.
I was running
Yeah.
on spike armor for a long time, so that was one outfit.
Yeah.
And then so I found that very early on. But now I'm now into this whole modifying thing.
Yeah.
But then also there's the power armor, which I
refuse to use it.
Today I've become obsessed with power armor.
Yeah.
I've got 3 power armor suits.
Yeah.
I've put them in my house.
Yep.
And they're painted different, and it's mad. They look beautiful.
I was gonna ask you, did you so you did figure out how to modify them?
Yes.
Because we were like fucking around at first and like we didn't really
So
get
I've
it.
now worked out how to rack them up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
How to do it now.
put them on my roof. Sorry.
I know how to. I figured it out and like I
Basically,
feel
you put
much
it
better.
nearby, and then you press like
You have
craft
to
or whatever
go
it is,
and
then
select the rack itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then it just hops in. So mine are lined up, all 3 of them. I
I'm
can
looking
see
at
it
them right
here.
now. They
We
look
can
quite
see
good.
them. One's in military green.
Sure.
One's in Minutemen blue.
Yep.
With like a Minutemen logo. The other one is rusty because it's missing half of it.
I want you to
It
do
looks
hot rod
cool.
though. I want you to.
Up there.
Oh, I don't know if you might have to find it. It's just like it's like adds like flames onto it.
Oh, is it
will if
like,
I can.
like
I couldn't
Iron
have-
Man?
Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of yeah.
but I couldn't. People will definitely mod the Iron Man suit.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
which
that would be the
that'd
first thing they
fucking
do.
cool.
Yeah.
And-
Buster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
But
great.
I think there's. I haven't had enough resources to do it.
Yeah,
I think it does take up a lot.
It does
resources to do it.
So I tend to run around. So the way I play the game is right now I'm running around with the glasses, ship captain hat, and vault suit.
Yeah,
I've taken the hat off because it looks a bit ridiculous. I actually just picked up metal armor for the first time in the game, where I'm wearing it, and I'm gonna go back and probably to put my vault suit back on because I just like the way it looks, and I think I'm like very immersed and really involved in my character. I really like my character, so I kind of just want him to always look the way I want him to look.
Yeah.
If a better outfit comes along, I'll wear that.
Yeah.
I don't get hit very often, so I really don't have to worry about armor. Because like typically, I end an engagement before it starts. I have really high agility and really high stealth, so I'm very hard to see. I'm very hard to detect.
Yeah.
My attack does ×6 or ×4.
Yeah.
I carry a sniper and a machete.
And I think this is part of the beauty of Fallout, is that you are having such a different experience from me.
Oh, yeah.
I am going in, I prefer stealth usually, but for some reason, I think it's probably because of the guns I picked up. So because I picked up a really powerful plasma rifle that I'm still using, and a shotgun that I'm still using really early on that was so powerful, I'm just running in guns blazing, which means I need armor, because every now and again I run in and I get fucked up.
Yeah.
So there'll be like 8 ghouls will just go, oh, there he is, and just go and start running at you.
The thing is, like, I like the stealth game more. That's traditionally how I play these games. But like, I think what's really screwing with me is like, in my construction of this patchwork armor, I wasn't thinking about the weight, and the weight of the armor plays a big part in how stealthy you can be.
True.
So like, I'm walking around in pots and pans. Like, literally
little sleek vault suit.
Yeah, I've got like wind chimes on my back, and like Sean's walking in there and he's just slithering along the ground.
I always go for shut the fuck up. I always go for style. That's my problem. I'm like, this looks cooler, so I'm gonna wear this. Like when I found that assault mask, because to start with, there's no good helmets, so I was running around with a mining hat on with a lamp on the front, and I look like an
which
idiot.
is great for stealth.
Well,
big old lamp on your head.
And like eventually, I found this military stuff and all these metal components, and now I've got like some like assassin leg armor and some weird other shadowed weird stuff, and like
which should theoretically be good for stealth.
Which it does. I think it improves my stealth slightly, but it's like I don't care. It just looks cool. That's what I keep going for. Look how cool my character looks.
Yeah, I'm a big. I play like that too, and it was like I was like showing Tom the other day. Like I cleared an entire mission of the game just using my combat knife. Like I didn't use anything else because it was the one inside the facility where the cars are made. It's like pretty early on. You got to clear out these raiders. In a Corvair place, and like I just went. I was like, man, I'm having a hard time running in their guns blades. I keep getting killed, and I was like, I could put armor on, or I could just put my vault suit back on. I could take this combat knife and see what happens. And I got through like the whole thing, and I just was sneak, and I was like, stab. Throw a grenade, run away. What I like to do is like I like to plant a landmine and run away.
Nice,
and then I'll shoot a couple times and they all run and get blown up by the landmine.
On the subject of grenades. Now,
this is funny.
The first few hours of playing Fallout for me, the first probably 6 hours, was just frustration of how many grenades the enemies had. I kept running into a room and they'd just go, Molotovs! And like 6 Molotovs hit you.
Raiders will fuck you up with
that never happened in...
no, never. Almost
Vegas
never.
In Fallout 3. Like, you'd occasionally hit a grenade or a mine, but there's so many more explosives in this one.
I never had that problem. I did the same missions as you, in the same order pretty much, and I very rarely get a grenade.
Stealthy. Because once you've been firing around, they're all aware you're there, so they're all got their grenades.
So you got 6 guys, and it would be a firing line if they didn't all have Molotovs all the time. It's just like the constant battery.
And the worst one was there was this mission to clear out this tower full of mutants, right? So you work your way up the tower. And I just killed one of the whole floors. It took me like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I died a couple of times doing it, but obviously respawned at the start because it was saved. And I ran up to the last bit to kill the last 2 mutants. And I ran up this ramp, and there was a window, and they were on the other side of the window, and they both just went, huh! Just chucked Molotovs. I had full health, just obliterated me.
Yeah, no, so we kind of like went really deep on one lane for a minute. Like we were like, oh, we'll take this step by step, and then we just started telling stories, which is like the magic of the game. But like this does bring up an interesting point. Like this game is harder than the last installments.
I guess.
Well, you didn't really play.
I have no
That's the
basis
thing.
for it. I don't think the game is very hard. I'm actually kind of.
But the fact that you died like a few times is like harder than Fallout 3.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like I don't know how hard it is for everyone else, but like this game is like definitely more challenging.
That's good to hear. I guess.
Yeah, which I think is actually better because like it used to be kind of boring. Like you would just walk through a building and you'd be like just kill everything in the way, like just blowing everything.
But yeah, I think I'm definitely dying more in this one than Vegas and 3.
Yeah.
But I think that's also partially to do with my playstyle this time around.
It could be it.
And
you also have just one. You have a weapon that killed one of the bosses.
I killed the boss
bullets.
in 6 hits.
What?
The D. It's a shotgun.
No. I know you already told me this, but like, what was the? Let me tell you about it again.
The boss?
Yeah.
What do
No, was it?
It's part of a storyline.
Okay.
And it's meant to be a shock, and it shocked me, and it was very surprising, and it scared me. So I don't want to ruin it for anyone else.
Sure.
It's a boss. It's a big boss. It's the castle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I know. What you're talking about.
That one. And 6 hits.
Nice. See, I couldn't get too close. I went, and I think I did that earlier than I was supposed to. Because that boss, like, if I ever got hit by a projectile, it took away half my health. Yeah. So I was like,
well, that happened to me as well. The start of them. So I was messing around in the sanctuary, which is really early on. As you should, that's you find. That's as soon as you come out of the vault, you go to the sanctuary. I was in there for a bit, and I did a few little side missions, did whatever, and then I stumbled across this problem where there was about 7 raiders, and I couldn't kill them all because I was not powerful enough. Guns weren't good enough. Like I just was getting, and they were throwing something. That was another one of the grenade times when they was all throwing grenades at me, like unlimited grenades, and I just couldn't avoid them. I'd run away once, stim pack myself, like use them all, and then just die because they just kept throwing grenades.
I imagine that my character is permanently bleeding out of his chest cavity because all I've been doing is jamming fucking needles in there. No, but I definitely, I haven't run into a situation like that yet. The closest one was actually at the castle. Like I was having a hard time with that boss, and that's also the only time that the game has crashed on me, catastrophically crashed on me 3 times, like in the middle of that fight, and things were going all right. So this is kind of a weird story, but I was opening the next day, which means I, at this point, had like 5 hours to sleep.
At work, to clarify, opening at work.
Oh, opening.
Opening.
I realized that I didn't realize it didn't make sense. Yeah. So I was opening at work the next day, and I had like 5 hours to sleep, and I was like, I'm not gonna go to bed until I get this. And then the game crashes like 3 times while I'm trying to, and it's the only time it's happened at all.
Have you had any other bugs?
There's been a few like random bugs, but like
bugs while we're here.
No, but this is the only time that it was like truly game breaking.
Yeah.
Did you like my cheat earlier where I walked through the wall?
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found a similar bug. It wasn't as useful as yours. So the first thing I did is because I used to test websites a bit, so I like breaking stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I wonder if this will. I started messing around and seeing if I could break the game. Yeah. And I did a really quick, easy one, which I then showed you, which is so in the sanctuary, there's obviously the houses and stuff, and you can just look. The walls are some of them are all broken because obviously a bomb went off, and you can look through the wall, and if you just press sit on the chair, it just skips through the wall and you sit down. Yeah. It's bizarre. No, you used it to a good advantage.
Bypass a lockpick.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I was like, pick the lock, and then I like would walk over and see the chair, and I hit X, and I would teleport through the wall and sit, and then I would jump on top of the chair and jump over the door to get back out.
Yeah. So you broke the game in that way, which is quite a cool way of breaking.
Yeah, it was a cool game.
But then I've had some frame rate issues, but randomly, not necessarily, not because of loads of characters and loads of grenades coming in. Just more like I just walked into one room that was empty. And
I saw that. Your game he hit a room that like just his game was just like dang.
Yeah, I think what happens in those scenarios is like. Especially if there are like loose skeletons in the room, which happens quite a bit because a lot of people died. Sometimes they'll break into pieces and like a hand will get stuck in the environment.
You had the pirouette.
And will just like fuck everything up.
I had a guy who landed and then got embedded into the concrete and then just spun around.
Yeah,
like slowly. But I was listening to classical music because I always listen to classical music when I play Fallout.
So I've also had one where there was a ghoul running at me and his arms just got left behind for a bit. And he was carrying on running it, and then they jumped back to his body. I had another weird one.
That's probably because you can cut the limbs off of still living ghouls.
And even some humans. Oh, no, you can't actually. No, sorry.
I think they die if you do that.
It was me that my arms came off.
Yeah.
And something happened to you yet? Another thing I had was that this was a weird one. So there was one where I looked through the scope, I'd shoot, and then I skipped forward. My character skipped forward like 5 or 6 paces, and I didn't move on the direction. It just kind of jumped me. It was really bizarre. was one other one. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But I've had a few issues, but
I've had frame rate issues, and I am more sensitive to frame rate than probably you and Tom. Probably. And so like when somebody was asking me like, how do I feel about the frame rate issues of Fallout, considering I am a frame rate guy, and like any other game, it would be like completely breaking. Like I would probably have stopped playing it because there are certain times where I'm like, I can see it's running below 30.
Yeah.
And sorry, have somebody coming up.
Hi,
Jenna.
This is Jenna.
That's Jenna walking right in front of the camera. All right.
Anyway,
very good. Totally forgot what I was saying.
You frame rate issues.
Oh yeah. Usually that would really infuriate me. But I've just given it a pass because I feel like it doesn't affect the game that much. In a pinch, I can always go into VATS if I'm in trouble.
That's really the same.
Skip out. Like if you didn't have VATS, that game would be almost unplayable in some areas where like it gets to go time, shit's happening, and you need to be able to kill something, and like my game's like
jumping around,
click, and I'm like, ooh.
I notice it as well, but I've forgiven it. I remember the other one I had, which was really awkward. So every now and again, I'd be chatting. It happened with what's the first guy called? Preston. So I was chatting to Preston, and it was going through the dialogue options, and then every now and again, it would flick to me. And I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I just was standing there for like 10 seconds. It was obviously meant to be doing the audio and the subtitles and all of it. Nothing was happening. Like, he was just standing, just silently.
Yeah.
And then it flicked back like he'd answered. Like the dialogue had happened, and that was really bizarre. Also, subtitles were wrong a few times.
Yeah, that happened early on.
It would repeat my subtitles from before, but I'd be saying something completely different, and then it would flick back in.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care at all. Like,
yeah.
No, it doesn't
so
ruin
enjoyable.
The game. And that's the thing. Like, yeah, the frame rate kind of sucks sometimes, and the game is buggy, and the lips do not match the mouth, especially earlier in the game. It's not even fucking close. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Like I was like, that was the only time where I was like, "This is a next gen game." Like they're not even close.
It's just like it's weird. It's like they chose to focus on other things. Obviously,
and it's a great game.
Yeah. I know you're not saying.
People have been asking me over and over, "Is this my game of the year?" And this is how we're gonna end the conversation because we're going long.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Now. It's weird because as I play this game, I'm learning new things. I'm having a great time. I can't stop playing Fallout. But A, it's too fresh. I need to sit on it for at least a month. And B, I don't know if I like it more than Bloodborne. Because like I was obsessed with Bloodborne too, and like Bloodborne's still one of my favorite games. And as much as I don't have any connection to the world of Fallout right now. The game is fun. The side quests are fun, but it's more about like exploring the world, which is similar to Bloodborne. I have no connection to Bloodborne. Bloodborne's story is so incoherent you can't even fucking work it out.
No one knows what's going on.
I think I started to piece it together months later.
I like I said, I look at Fallout and like it's definitely a contender. It's definitely between that and Bloodborne right now. Metal Gear's not on the list, and it's going to be really interesting to see. I think when we give our game of the year come December, if that beats it out. I think right now it's safe to say that Fallout very well might be my game of the year. Tom,
for me, I'm 90% sure it will be. This is it's been years even since I've had a game where what was it, Tuesday night we stayed up till I didn't have you had a little nap because you were prepared. You were like, I'm going to be playing this all night. I was like, I'm probably going to go to bed 2 or 3. I stayed up till 6.
Yep.
And I was like, and I didn't eat that day. I had like one meal that day, and I went, a game hasn't done this for years.
Yeah.
And I knew I would love this game, but I didn't think I'd love it this much. And I don't want to make the decision 100% yet, but I'm pretty much there already.
This is weird because like when you were like, "Is this game of the year?" Like my mind was like immediately like, "Yes, of course it is." But then like I've been thinking about it, and like it's hard for me to even consider this, but like I don't know if it is because I knew almost exactly what I was getting out of Fallout. Like because it really is more Fallout 3. It's not exactly the same, but it's better, pretty similar.
It's better looking, more in depth.
And like even Fallout New Vegas had like weapon mods, so that's not like a completely mind blowing concept to me. Like a lot of people love that about, but like it's much more advanced in this game, of course. But still, so like I'm still waiting for the like blows my mind moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bloodborne, for a moment, blew me away. You know, it was like in my 10th hour of play in Bloodborne, I'm like dying all the time, I'm having a hard time, and then I clicked, I figured it out, and the mechanics of that game blew me away.
Yeah,
you know.
We played it recently, and we have the Let's Play up, and it's doing pretty well. Yeah. I challenge you to find a game that plays as well as Bloodborne.
Yeah, and like you know, when The Last of Us came out, like that was
The Last of Us was the game of the year as soon as the credits.
Yeah, because when that game blows you away. Well, at least
blows
for me,
you away, and then it just keeps blowing you.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Whatever, I'm gonna let it go. But so you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm nothing about Fallout, despite the fact that this might be the perfect, like the best game that's ever been crafted for Jack Rooney. Like it might not be my game of the year just because it hasn't done anything to like shock me yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and Bloodborne for me as well had that when you beat that first boss. I can't remember what they're called. Cleric Beast. Cleric Beast.
Yeah.
Cleric Beast. Yeah.
Yep.
When you get this feeling of overwhelming, like
you're like holy shit,
and you just like we spoke with sweaty players.
Yeah,
like I put the controllers like. Genuinely, I played
somebody give me a towel.
I played it on stream as well. The first time I played through Bloodborne, I played it on stream, and I just remember putting the controller down. I just went, just give me 5 minutes. I just had to sit there for a couple of minutes. There's like 50 people watching me just sit there, just like I'm just knackered, and like I haven't had that yet in this. And but I know that I can't stop playing. I can't stop thinking about it. We were out at dinner. I was just like, I just want to go back and play Fallout a little bit. Yeah. I'm like, I just want to go play Fallout. I don't really want to do anything else. We're playing a Let's Play. I'm just like, I kind of want to play Fallout. And it's like,
we were going to do a Let's Play of something else, and we were like, you just want to keep Fallout in?
Yeah.
Keep playing more Fallout? Yeah. Keep building houses?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like Fallout is maybe Fallout may very well be, this is so weird, might be the best game that I play this year, but I don't know if it'll be my game of the year.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting.
I don't know. I'm going to have to really think about it some more.
Like I said, don't be... Like there's definitely a chance that I give it my game of the year, and it's right now I would say it's front runner. I'm gonna go back and beat Bloodborne again before the end of the year because I think I deserve to beat that game again. Like I feel like Bloodborne deserves more time, and I'll play the new DLC is coming out soon.
Sure,
so
of course.
I'll enjoy that. It's just one of those things where it's very fascinating. I haven't seen like Fred, who's never played a Fallout game ever, and this fucking game has got its hooks so deep in him. We were talking about it at work, or he just wanted to go home and play it. And that's the staple of it's truly a phenomenal game. And I wonder if consistent greatness is going to, because that's what the game is.
It's going to beat out those bright spots of brilliance that Bloodborne has.
So it's definitely an interesting
argument.
It's really what it is.
And there's a lot more we could talk about Fallout, and I'm sure we will. Building houses is a lot of fun. If you guys need help building a house, go to nerdsonline.com/YouTube. Yeah. And you can check out Tom and I build a very cool house.
Because one thing I found interesting, just as the last point, one thing I found very interesting was that you enjoyed the house building. Because I remember I would have thought the day before the game came out, I was like, oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to the crafting and the house building. And you were like, yeah, I'm feeling okay about that. And then you started building a house. And then 3 hours later, you built the house and you're like, done. And it was like, I knew you'd get hooked.
I was like, well, I might as well. If I'm going to build a house, I might as well build a good one.
You know what's really pissing me off?
What?
I built this garbage little settlement, right? And I built it up and it was like mine. And then you get to the place that what's that?
It was your turd.
Sure. We get to the place that you and I just mentioned, this area. Yeah, yes. And I don't want to ruin too much, but you can build up a better place, and it's like just immediately from the first moment you're there, you're like, this is already better than everything I had.
Good to know.
And I'm just like, I built this, and you don't. There's every reason to still have that other place, but
because it depends how much you built that up. Because I didn't really. It said build 5 beds. I built a square building. I put 5 beds in. Went done. I then built myself a nice house, and that's all decorated. It's got a living room. It's got a little reading corner. It's got my little armor section.
I have my Bob Ross corner.
You've got your Bob Ross corner. I've got a bathroom and a bedroom, and my house is nice.
Yeah.
But the place that we were talking about earlier is I did it. I hooked up the electricity, and I went, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But luckily, I haven't sunk many resources, that made no sense, many resources into that place, because I've done my house and then the little bit.
So you built a house to put the beds in. I just put the beds in
in the other houses.
Yeah.
I
walked into one room.
Yeah, I wanted to 5
see.
Beds. Yeah.
Well, because I wanted to mess around and see what it was like. So I was like, okay, I won't use the existing houses. I'll build a quick one, and then
Do you want to end this before we...
Yeah, we should do
it. Because I'll just keep going.
Building needs to be a little bit more intuitive. Walls need to click together a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to... Select can't be the same button as it is to craft a new item. You constantly select the fucking thing.
One other thing before we go to it. I don't want auto-clipping. I want that to be a choice. Like, if you want to have it click, you should be allowed to click. But I'm trying to set something up, and I want my walls to intersect at a weird angle, and I don't want it to auto right angle it or auto clip. Right. It's very frustrating to me.
Interesting. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Nerds of the Round Table. My name is Sean. You can find me on Twitter. On Twitter.
If you tweet at Twitter, Sean will answer.
At Sean Twisters. Jack is at Jack is Gaming. Tom is at TomHawkin5. Fred is Fred_Sully.
He is.
My God, you were actually
underscore,
he did it.
underscore.
Why did you say so?
You didn't have to, should have just. I was gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you.
Excellent.
Oh, they did the X.
Make sure you guys go to nerdsonline.com. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. If you guys want, no one is wearing it. Nerd shirts.
What the hell? There's one right over there.
Oh god! Oh god! The lights. If you guys want to buy one of these shirts, there's only 6 left. So make sure you guys go on.
I made them.
Yeah, you did. Make sure you guys go on Tom's Twitter. It's posted at the top of his Twitter. Click the link, and you guys can be
to be safe.
First of actually the only 20 shirts we're ever gonna make. Yeah. So
in total, there's 28 in circulation. There was an initial 8. We own those.
Tydex is getting one. Tim Geddes is getting one. Greg Miller is getting one.
And then you can be in the part of that magical club with those magical people.
So make sure you guys go support it. Just so you guys know where the money is going to go, I'm going to take the money and use it to buy a new Retron 5 and a new capture card.
Because that broke as well.
Yeah, my capture card and my Retron 5 broke all in one day.
That was a great Sunday.
I wasn't sure if that was going to be joking. I'm going to take the money and hide it in my mattress.
No. Because I want people to know, this is not...
Oh, no, it's going straight back into the site.
Yeah, this is not us trying to make a profit on anything. This is us just trying to stay above water. Fred also bought a $250 lighting kit, which we have to try to pay him back for a little bit. So we are putting a lot of our own money into it. That's where the money is going. So if you guys want to support us, make sure you guys buy those t-shirts. Subscribe subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, but until next time, GG. If you guys like that video, make sure you click here to watch more videos, and down here to visit...
It's on the other side.
Oh.
On the other side.
Can we put it over?
Nope, I'm editing it. Other side.
God damn it, Tom.